Chapter 36, Kaylee. James has been getting on my last nerve, and I want to prove to everyone that I don't need him and I can end things on my own. Carter, Drew, and Sarah don't believe that I can walk away from whatever James and I had in the past. I'm determined to prove them wrong and do it without help. James is the least of my problems now anyway. Drew's already not happy with me. He'd be more upset if he knew I pissed off Oliver. I need to be nicer to Oliver and maybe try to get on his good side. I just don't know how to do that, especially without him thinking I'm some damsel in distress that needs his saving. I'm broken from my musing when Drew speaks. So, Lynn invited us to something called fifth quarter after the game tonight. Do y'all want to go? What's fifth quarter? Carter asked as we head back to the band hall after the pep rally. She said they play games and hang out at her church's rec center. It sounds like it could be fun to me. Drew sounds so hopeful. Carter nods. I'm in. What about you, Kaylee? I'm good. I have to be up early for the math science meet tomorrow, and it sounds like we'll be out late after the dance. I should probably be home tonight. Really, I need a break from all this, but I can't say that to Drew. He thinks Lynn hung the moon. I don't want to fight with him, and I don't want him to know about my conversation with Oliver either. Oliver puts me on edge, which is the only explanation I have for going off on him earlier. Oh, well, maybe we shouldn't go then. Drew sounds dejected as he kicks a rock in the parking lot. I shake my head. No, y'all go and have fun. It'll give you a chance to get to know Lynn better when she's around her friends. It'll help you to be more comfortable around them on Saturday. Sarah walks up to her and asks, Where are we going? We aren't going anywhere, I say, gesturing to her and myself with my free hand. Drew and Carter are hanging out with Lynn and her friends after the game tonight. Are y'all going to fifth quarter? Sarah asks excitedly. How do you know about it? I asked, frowning. I overheard Callie talking with Colton about it. I swear I can see in her eyes her planning a future with Colton. I thought we already discussed how chasing after Colton is a bad idea. We discussed how you thought it was a bad idea, and I decided not to take relationship advice from someone who thought at any point in time it was a good idea to get involved with James when he clearly said he didn't want to be in a relationship. I can handle the Colton situation on my own. Besides, it's not like he knows I exist. I'm done with James, and James is part of the reason I'm so protective of you. I don't want you to get hurt. I try to wrap my arm around Sarah, but she sidesteps my attempt. I can take care of myself, she says. Why don't you focus on keeping yourself from being hurt? Whatever, you're going to do what you want anyway. That's the pot calling the kettle black, Carter rolls his eyes. How many times did we tell you James was bad news before you listened? I get it, okay? I throw my hands up and Carter has to dodge my trombone. It was stupid to get involved with James. I know his behavior isn't going to change. I'm no longer with him and I'm not going back to him. My point is, I don't want Sarah to be hurt the same way. It's not like our parents are going to say no, so I'm going and I can take care of myself. Sarah storms off. That went well. Carter looks in the direction Sarah went. Shut up. What has you in such a foul mood today? Drew stops walking to look directly at me like he can read the answer on my face. I shrug. Nothing. I didn't sleep well. Mary never came home last night. We had a fight about how she treats Sarah, then she left. When we left for school, she still hadn't made an appearance. That sucks. Carter tries to wrap his arm around me for a hug. I step away from his attempt, using my trombone as a shield. It'd be easier to avoid Carter if his trumpet wasn't so small. It is what it is. I only have 2 years left of dealing with it. Are you still planning on getting Sarah to move out with you after graduation? Drew continues walking and kicking his rock. Yeah, I don't think our parents would notice, much less care, and it'd give her a more stable home environment. Have you talked to Sarah about it yet? Carter looks back to where my sister has disappeared. No, I figure there's no point until it's closer. I won't turn 18 until next December. That'll give me 6 months to find somewhere for us to stay. I have a few thousand saved from what I can pull out of the account our father set up for us. I've been taking money out of it in cash since he opened it freshman year. I have the cash all hidden in the lining of my guitar case so Mary can't find it. I have to be careful not to pull too much out at one time. Once I took $500 out and my father had a lot of questions. I told him I like shopping at this one boutique that doesn't take cards. He bought it, but I haven't taken that much out since. That's why I spend so much money shopping. If he knows where most of my money's going, then he won't ask too many questions about the cash I pull out. He thinks I spend it all on meaningless things. It benefits me for him to think I'm like Mary. If you don't want to wait until graduation, I'm sure my mom wouldn't mind you moving in with us. She adores both of you, and she's always wanted a daughter, Carter offers. Thanks for the offer, but if my dad found out, he'd flip. It'd look bad, and you know he values his reputation over his daughter's. Besides, you, your mom, and grandma live in a 2-bedroom apartment. You don't have room for us to move in. At least if Sarah and I are on our own, our father can pretend no one else knows about it. I hate having my friends pity me because of my parents. It makes me feel vulnerable, and vulnerability makes my skin crawl. Let's talk about something else. Well, Lynn asked me to sit with her during third quarter. Drew stares at the rock he's been kicking like that's who he's talking to. What? Why didn't you lead with that? That's great. I lightly punch his arm. Kaylee, take a chill pill. Carter waves my hand away from Drew. And Drew, details. How did this come about? On the way to her house for lunch, everyone was talking about the game. She apologized for them getting away talking about sports. I admitted I didn't understand what they were talking about. She asked me to sit with her during the game so she could explain everything to me. See, I told you my plan would work. You're finally on her radar. I put my fist in the air. I'm happy for Drew, especially because with this new development, he seems to have forgotten my harsh words from this morning. I'm pretty sure she's only being friendly. I'm still excited, though. The friend zone is still a major step up from her not knowing I exist. Even if it's only as a friend, I get to spend time with her. Drew is still looking down, but now he's smiling. Is that when she invited you to the 5th quarter thing? Carter nudges Drew's shoulder. No, she asked about that during government. She said y'all could come sit with us during third quarter to learn football and hang out. I shake my head no. We're definitely not sitting with you during third quarter. That'll only push you closer to the friend zone. The game should be a good opportunity to spend some time with her one-on-one other than working on your project. All of her friends are jocks, meaning they'll be on the football field, not in the stands with Lynn. I'm hopeful that Drew will get comfortable enough with being around Lynn without us there that I can avoid her and her friends. I especially want to avoid Oliver after this afternoon. If Lynn and Drew get together, then I don't have to worry about Oliver. Until then, I plan to try to be extra nice when I have to be around Oliver. I didn't want to go to the homecoming dance from the beginning. With everything that has happened with James and Oliver, I really don't want to go. But I feel like I need to just so I can prove I can go out to a dance and have fun without James. I've moved on from him, and I wish everyone else could see it. I want them to see I don't need another boy to keep me from going back to James. It's not like Oliver would be interested in me anyway. I'm nothing like the cookie-cutter girls that hang all over the football team. I don't have curves or school spirit. And James has made it painfully obvious there's nothing special enough about me to get a guy to break the mold. The only possible reason Oliver offered to go to the dance with me earlier is because he pities me. He saw how James was treating me and felt bad for me. Oliver thought I was in need of saving and was offering to do that. I don't need saving, especially not from a guy my body unhelpfully reacts to. We arrived back at the band hall without more discussion of the game or the dance. We put away our instruments before heading to Drew's house. Since we have a couple of hours to kill before the game, I want to look over what he's wearing to the homecoming dance and what he's wearing to Lynn's house that afternoon to work on their project. The boys and Sarah play video games while I go through Drew's closet. I already know what I want him to wear, but I take time going through everything. It gives me something to do with my hands and gives me some space from everyone else. I don't want to hear about how perfect Lynn is or how I need to stay away from James, and I'll lose it if they bring up Oliver. After spending as long as I can justify going through Drew's closet, I hang the 2 outfits on his closet door and join them in playing Call of Duty Zombies. At least shooting zombies helps me release some of my pent-up anxiety.